Tension saturated Jerusalem during that final week. Religious authorities had reached their verdict. Jesus had to die. His words challenged the system too directly. His popularity threatened the established order. But how could they arrest someone constantly surrounded by adoring crowds? The answer emerged from the last place Jesus expected, from within his inner circle of 12. Judas Iscariot, the group's treasurer, had been seduced by an offer from the chief priests. 30 silver coins, the price of a common slave, proved sufficient to purchase the betrayal of an intimate friend. Jesus knew, he always knew, during the Last Supper, in a reserved upper room of a Jerusalem house, tension hung thick enough to cut. The disciples reclined around the low table, sharing Passover bread and wine as they'd done countless times. But this night carried a different weight. "One of you will betray me," Jesus announced, his voice cutting through conversational murmurs. The silence that followed was deafening. Faces around the table reflected shock, confusion, fear. Peter signaled to John, who was leaning against Jesus' chest. "Ask him who it is." "Lord, is it I?" The question echoed from each man's lips. Jesus' heart shattered, watching genuine anguish stamped across the faces of men he'd loved as brothers for 3 years. All were capable of weakness. He knew that, but one had already made his choice. When Jesus dipped the bread piece and handed it to Judas, their eyes locked. In that moment, volumes passed in silence. Judas knew that Jesus knew, and Jesus knew there was no turning back. "What you're about to do quickly," Jesus murmured, his voice laden with profound sorrow. Judas exited into the night's darkness. The other disciples assumed he'd gone to purchase something or give alms to the poor. They didn't realize they'd just witnessed the moment when love was exchanged for silver coins. After supper, Jesus led the disciples to the Garden of Gethsemane. There, among ancient olive trees, one of the most human moments of his entire journey unfolded. Asking the disciples to stay awake and pray, Jesus moved a few steps away and fell to his knees. The agony that followed defied description. The physician Luke would later record that his sweat became like drops of blood, a rare medical condition called hematidrosis, occurring under extreme emotional stress. Jesus knew precisely what awaited him: torture, humiliation, abandonment. More than that, he knew he would carry upon himself the weight of humanity's sins. "Father, if possible, take this cup from me," he cried, his voice echoing among the trees. But then, in a demonstration of the strength that would define him until the end, "Yet not my will, but yours be done." When he returned to the disciples, he found them sleeping. Peter, who had promised to die for him, couldn't stay awake even 1 hour. "The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak," Jesus whispered, more to himself than to them. That's when torches appeared between the trees. Judas came at the front, followed by a crowd armed with swords and clubs. The signal had been arranged. The one he kissed would be Jesus. The betrayal kiss, a gesture of affection transformed into a weapon of destruction. "Friend, why have you come?" Jesus asked when Judas approached. Even knowing the betrayal, even feeling the blade of pain cutting his heart, Jesus still called Judas friend. It was the last chance for repentance he offered. But the kiss came anyway, and with it, the arrest that would initiate history's darkest hours. Dear viewer, if you've made it this far, I want to express tremendous gratitude for your presence. I know it's not easy to follow such an intense journey, but I promise you that the most powerful and transformative moments are still ahead. Stay with us, because what comes next will reveal what it truly means to be present in someone's darkest hour.